And here we'd like to cover the workers in sweatshops. Okay, so before we go on, I'd like to give you the definition of the sweatshop. This is from Wikipedia, and according to Wikipedia, a sweatshop is defined as a crowded workplace with very poor, socially unacceptable, or illegal working conditions. This work may be difficult, dangerous, climatically challenging, or underpaid. Workers in sweatshops may work long hours with low pay, regardless of laws mandating overtime pay, or a minimum wage. Child labor laws may also be violated. So when we are talking about the sweatshop, the image of a sweatshop is here on the right hand side. It was around 1864 something in the United States. Okay, I think this is the image of the sweatshop. And in these days, there are so many sweatshops around the world, especially in Bangladesh, El Salvador, Colombia, Guatemala, Malaysia, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, China, India, Vietnam, Honduras, Indonesia, Brazil, Mexico, and even in the US, United States. And in Korea, there have been so many of these kind of sweatshops, especially the most famous sweatshop, I believe, must be the Cheonggyecheon. Okay, it was more horrendous than this sins. Okay, so one of the problems with the sweatshop is the child labor. Okay, uh, the child labor problem. Okay, so I hope later we can have chances to discuss more about the sweatshops. But here, uh, in the employee issues, we'd like to cover whether they are underpaid. Okay, so workers in sweatshops are paid too little. Okay, uh, and for this statement, there are two kinds of opinions. One is no camp, the other is yes camp. Okay, so in no camp they say that sweatshop wages, while low by our standards, are not low by the standards of the countries in which the sweatshops are located. This explains why people choose to work in a sweatshop. It is the that means choose to work. That means the workers are voluntary choices. Okay, they are making voluntary choices. There's no enforcement. Okay, there is no fraud. So the workers come to the sweatshops. Okay, looking for some jobs, and they are satisfied with the jobs. The jobs and the payment they receive. It is the best offer they have. Okay, this may sound very cruel because in the underdeveloped countries there is no workplace. Okay, they can find, so it may be the best offer for them. Efforts to increase artificially the wages of sweatshop workers, according to these writers, is misguided on two counts. First, it is an interference with the autonomous choices of employers and workers. Second, it is likely to make workers worse off, since employers will respond by either moving operations to a new location or employing fewer workers in that location. So, in this case, if the salaries is rising, the employers will move their factory from one country to another. Okay, so from China to Vietnam or something like that. So they have moved their factories from Korea to China, and from China to uh, Vietnam, and that way they are trying to find out the low income, low wage countries. So they say that in low camp they say that it's the best offer. Okay, in the yes camp, they agree with the opinion that workers in sweatshops are paid too little. In this yes camp, they said while granting the workers choose to work in sweatshops, they deny that their choices are voluntary. Yes, it's the problem of the voluntary choice. Okay, it they are forced to work for this kind of company. Okay, given their very low wages, this suggests that sweatshop workers are exploited. Basically, they are exploited. Moreover, some argue, appealing to a contingent duty of beneficence, the firms can and should do more for sweatshop workers in response to the claim that firms put themselves at a competitive disadvantage if they do. Writers have pointed to actual cases where firms have been able to secure better treatment for sweatshop workers without suffering serious financial penalties. This is what they say, but nobody can prove, the truth. Actually, this is the sweatshop issues, and there's the issues of meaningful work. Okay, so it is based on the efficiency of division of labor and human alienation. There's some kind of trade-off between these two factors. So before we turn to next page, I'd like to show you some very interesting clips, okay, from modern times. I believe you must have once seen this scenes before. Yes, uh, we may be laughing at this scene, but this may be a very tragic scene. Okay, this is what meaningful work issues are all about. Okay, so in 1776, Adam Smith, okay, UK economist, observed that a detailed division of labor greatly increased the productivity of manufacturing processes. If one worker performs all of the tasks required to make a pin himself, he can make just a few pins per day. However, if the worker specializes in one or two of these tasks and combines his efforts with other workers who specialize in one or two of the other tasks, then together they can make thousands of pins per day. This observation was excellent, an excellent finding, and later it has become the source of efficiency, okay, of the division of labor. This is a very famous statement, okay, but economically this is very excellent observation, but as the result of this division of labor, there are some side effects of human alienation. So performing one or two simple tasks all day, okay, is likely to make a worker as stupid and ignorant as it is possible for a human creature to become. This is very inhumane, actually, work practice. Okay, uh, so this division of labor is uh, related to the modern society. Okay, uh, in the in the United States. Okay, this is the way they could make the cheap Model T cars. Okay, in the Ford manufacturing, Ford auto manufacturing. Okay, and they say this is the starting point of the modern managerial science. Okay, though this is very meaningful concept in the in terms of efficiency. But these days, they are looking at the side effects of human alienation. And here's the issue of meaningful work. Labor processes to be arranged so that work is interesting. Okay, work must be interesting. Requires skill, so they can develop their own skill in the workplaces. And they are trying to hard to give workers substantial decision-making power. Okay, so they have proved that if they can, if they are given the decision-making power, they think that their job is more interesting. Okay, and that's what the personal management scientists are finding. Okay, so the corporation should do their best to make the job a meaningful work. Okay, this is also the third employee issues. Okay, and four, number four is equal opportunities. Okay, so let's first look at why this is becoming an issue. The treatment of workers and the improvement of employment conditions forms a major part of people's perceptions of a company's attitude to its stakeholders and its policies on social issues. Okay, this represents the the company's basic attitude toward the outside stakeholder. Okay, so despite the many strides made globally in combating discrimination during the last century, much remains to be done to achieve true equality in the workplace. For example, in the United Kingdom, uh, because our company is related with a corporation in the United Kingdom, I have quoted all these materials from the our company material. So uh, we are going to mention United Kingdom case. Okay, despite the many changes in social attitudes in the last 3 decades and equal pay legislation and EU directives to ensure added legal protection, women overall still receive only around 4/5 of men's hourly pay. Okay, this is the situation that happens all over the world. Similarly, despite positive developments since the introduction of the 1976 Race Relations Act in the United Kingdom, many people from ethnic minorities are consciously or otherwise prevented from progressing within or in some cases even entering parts of the workforce. Okay? This is also the frequently observed situations all around the world. Okay, and we are saying that the job must be given by some equal opportunity rules. Okay, so these days there are some changes. Changes in social attitudes have increased recognition of the harm done by discrimination and led to growing awareness of other forms of discrimination in addition to sex and race. So sex and race is the first discrimination we can find, but there are other discriminations. Employers now more widely recognizes all types of discrimination as being bad for business because it limits the skills pool from which they can draw talent and creates a closed mindset towards developing new markets and opportunities. And more companies now see improving this diversity as not just a way to avoid criticism or losses, but as means towards building reputation and gaining competitive advantage. So nowadays, they think the the discrimination, okay, is not uh, good for the competitive advantage. For example, by not discriminating on the grounds of age. So here's the another other than sex and race, there are also many other uh, discrimination like age. A company can take advantage of a highly experienced staff who are often overlooked in the marketplace. Whether we are living in the United States, United Kingdom, or in Korea, the old men are actually being discriminated in the workplaces. Okay? Companies can achieve similar results by being proactive in combating discrimination on the grounds of religion or sexual orientation. So we have the discrimination based on religion and based on sexual orientation. Okay? And moreover, use this to their advantage in helping to market their services more widely. Okay, so the diversity inside of a corporation can help the corporation to find the better talent, and this also gives them new perspective, a wider perspective, and they can help the market their services more widely. Equal opportunity is increasingly an issue of global concern. However, progress towards equality is often at different stages of their development in different countries. So the country differ uh, among the different countries. There are different practices about discrimination, okay, based on sex, race, age, religion, or sexual orientation. Okay, so the case for gender equality is now widely accepted. Okay, as are calls for all forms of discrimination against women, direct and indirect, to be removed. So these days in Korea also, we are uh, getting rid of all the uh, discriminations based on gender. Okay, social practices, legislation, and public opinion all differ greatly. There are also indications globally that the glass ceiling operates differently according to the size of the company concerned. So most of the cases, the female workers are discriminated uh, from the promotion. Okay, to some extent, they can be promoted, but there's some kind of glass ceiling for some kind of the executive job or something like that. Okay. Equal opportunities in relation to ethnic or other minorities are seen differently around the world. In Australia, for example, the notion is applied to non-English speakers and issues associated with the indigenous Aboriginal population are seen separately. In much of the North America, the focus is on diversity policies and the need to create a diverse workforce. As company activities become more global, there is an increasing demand on companies to be seen to be proactive in relation to this issue. Okay, so uh, here's a system supporting equal opportunities. So we have analysts, to analyze the corporation's employee issues, especially in terms of equal opportunity. We are giving the list of the questions. Okay, the analyst or the researcher should try to find out the answers for these questions about the corporation. These are like followings. Has it assigned responsibility for promoting equal opportunity system and practice to a named senior person? So they should have some special senior person, sorry, senior person, okay, who is in charge of this opportunity concerns, okay. Does it monitor its equal opportunity policy? They may say they have some good policy about the equal opportunity, but we'd like to know whether there is any monitoring system. Okay, is it able to provide supporting data on workforce composition? Okay, they should give they should be able to give supporting data. Okay, uh, so we'd like to know how many percentage of the workforces are the women or something like that. Okay, giving a breakdown of its actual diversity performance. Are more than 10% of its managers women, or does the percentage of women managers matches at least two-fifths of the figure for the percentage of women in its workforce as a whole? So this is our own unique question, and the 10% is our standard. Okay, there's no other reasoning for behind this 10%. Actually, our ideal situation is 50% of the manager should be women. Okay. Thus, the percentage of its managers who are from ethnic minorities match at least two-fifths of the figure for the percentage of ethnic minorities in its workforces. So, we'd like to know whether there's ethnic minorities in the manager position. Okay. Does it provide flexible working arrangements and family benefits? This is for ladies. Okay, family for the women, family benefits to employees worldwide, including at least 3 out of career breaks. So they should give offer they should give career breaks, child care facilities or subsidy or flex time, job sharing, payment of more than one statutory maternity pay, paid paternity leave. Okay, so there's maternity pay and there's also paternity leave. Okay, so these are the female workers who have children. Okay, so these are the questions the company should answer to our analysts. Okay, to prove themselves uh, to be good at employee issues.